Hi, I'm Gina Johnson, Holistic Business Coach, and welcome to Mapping Out Your Marketing. I work with entrepreneurs and startups, helping them create long-lasting business development and strategies to build business momentum and acquire new business. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. And we're going to jump right in. So this is Mapping Out Your Marketing. So all marketing is telling people what you do over and over and over again in a creative way. So I'm going to run through these slides. So we want to keep up with the current trends. We want to stay present and active in all areas where your ideal client is hanging out. Before we start this mapping out your marketing, you really need to get clear on who you're serving and what you're offering. That's step number one. And then as we move on, so again, as I said, the first step to marketing is, I'm going to move my face, is to start identifying your client's pain points. So ask yourself these questions. What are 3 things that keep your ideal clients up at night? And go ahead and write the answers down. And as a little marketing tip for you, once you come up with these things, this is marketing content. So when you think about what's keeping your clients up at night and how can you help them solve that problem, now right there are 3 things. Those are 3 things, 3 separate social media posts, 3 separate videos, 3 things you should include in all of your marketing content and text. So, because if one person has that pain point and that pain problem, most likely everyone else does. So this is key. Step number 1. Of course, I shouldn't say that. This should be step number 2. Number 1 is developing your ideal client avatar and really knowing who you're serving. So what problems are you solving? Your marketing should solve their problem. So we want to think about what are the features, what are the functions, and what are the benefits of your product or service? That's all they want to know. How are you helping me? So how will your packages benefit the customers? You want to show that to them, what's beneficial to your product or service, what's the function? So those are pretty simple guidelines. So when we talk about packages a little bit here. So I love bundling things up and making packages. And, when you sell one thing at a time, it takes a lot to, build business momentum and really create win-win outcomes. So as a business coach, if you could have one session with me, yes, hopefully it would be great and we'd have some breakthroughs, but are you going to scream how amazing I am from the rooftops? Probably not. Are you going to tell all your friends how amazing I am? Probably not. But if you had 3, 6, or 10 sessions, maybe you would, because then you could experience the full benefit of the coaching and really getting to know me. And we would, create some major business momentum and have some business breakthroughs for you. So think about the levels of packages. And I always tell people, well, number 1, we want to have an opt-in, a freebie, and then you want to have something flexible or basic. So I'm going to pull up this next slide. We'll talk about building the content. You want to build this content and you want to give this value. So what we're doing is we're establishing ourselves as an expert. So work on your marketing by engaging daily. So as you're working on your marketing, of course, after you've figured out who your ideal client is, we understand where they're hanging out, both online and offline. And what you want to do is you really want to focus on just those 2 or 3 platforms that you really feel they're at and get yourself comfortable, whether it's LinkedIn or Facebook or Clubhouse, TikTok, Snapchat. You really want to understand if your ideal client is 65 years old, they're probably not on Snapchat. So you want to do a little bit of homework. Again, that's why it's so important to really understand who that ideal client is. And so I'm going to give you a couple little tips. So number 1, you want to make sure your Instagram and your Facebook are linked. This is done very easily. You can just Google it and figure out how to do that. And then, of course, every time you post on one platform, it will automatically go to the other. And it works the same with your stories. So if you're doing a business story on your Instagram, it automatically goes to your Facebook business page, which I love. Adding a link tree to your bio. So Linktree is something not everybody knows about, and you really should. So Instagram only allows you one URL. And so most people, of course, will put their website there. Well, you have much more than your website to offer, right? You probably have a business Facebook page. Maybe you have a business group. Maybe you have a YouTube channel. I hope you have an opt-in. That's where your opt-in would go. So it's called Linktree. So linktree.com, it's free, and I recommend everyone get one. You can not only put it on your Instagram, you can also put it on your Facebook page as well. And my last tip is update your email signature. And you want to include some sort of a call to action or a clickable. If LinkedIn is your platform, you want to put your LinkedIn, little icon there, and just you connect it and click it, connect it to your LinkedIn account. Again, something you can do very easily by Googling. I always recommend people put their picture. I think it's really important. And I think the photo that you want to use, you also want to put on that platform. So then they can say, oh, great, now I can find her. Oh, this is the person. The same as your Venmo or anything else. You want to use that same business photo so you're easily identified. So social media postings. So here's my little cheat sheet. And so if you're in business, my clients' two big pain points that they come to me with is, one is, what do I do next? And I don't know what to post on social media, and I don't know how much I should post or when I should post. So here's a little cheat sheet and a good rule of thumb for you. Posting 3 times per week is a safe bet. You want to do 1 video per week because you want to get in front of your clients. You want them to get your vibe and really feel like they resonate with you. And if you're not in front of your clients, someone else will be. So you want to do at least 1 to 2 to 3 Instagram stories. Again, if you're using that, taking advantage and connecting your Instagram with your Facebook, it will automatically go there. So you want to create an opt-in. And that's something that you are solving the problem. So it may be a checklist, 20 ways to something. On my business page, ginajohnson.co, I have 100 ways to market your business, which is great. It's a lot of tips, and there's just little blurbs. So it gives people ideas when you're stuck. So what does that do? When you land on my website, you can, even if you don't want to stay there, you say, oh, I could use those 100 tips. You're going to sign up. I'm going to give my email address for 100 tips. I was in a webinar last week and someone came up with a suggestion of 3 ways to something. And I said, I don't know if I'm going to give my email address up for 3 tips for something. So you want to make sure that you're solving a problem and it's something that they really want. And you want to keep it seasonal. So change it every quarter. So not only change it on your website, but change it on your social media. And again, you can continue to leave all of these opt-ins in your link tree. And every time you do a story or you mention one of these tips, you just say link in bio, and it's a way to continuously grow your list. We want to think about, if social media goes down, and it has done many times, you still want to be able to reach your clients and your customers. So it's important that you gather their emails. And what are we going to do with those emails? Well, you're going to email them out at least 2 times per month. I always recommend people use MailChimp because it's free. Of course, the one downside to MailChimp is you have to give your home address. So if you don't have a PO box or you're not currently working from a co-working space, that can be a problem. So you want to think about that before you sign up for MailChimp. What I like about MailChimp is you can email, you can set up different campaigns, you can set up different groups. Sometimes you might want to email just your clients and not everyone on your list. So I really do like that. And again, using those opt-ins. So let's just say you created a new opt-in. Obviously, you're not going to require the people you already have their emails. You're not going to require them to give you an email to give it. So as an added bonus, go ahead and email them out that opt-in. And you're sharing the tips or a roadmap to something or whatever it is, and you're just sharing content. So you're giving, because you want to give, ask. You don't want to continuously ask people to buy from you. So that's a great way to feed the people on your email list. And what does that do? Well, hopefully it will stop them from feeling like they want to unsubscribe because you're sharing valuable content. And at the same time, you're building that new list, you're getting new people on. And then the last thing is to post on Google My Business. Now you want to do that at least 2 to 3 times a week. It's really important that you do that. I always give people the example. If you are in a new town and you Google Thai restaurants near me, the ones that have the most 5-star reviews and the most pictures and the most interaction, of course, are going to come up first. So the first one might have 10 or 12, 15 pictures on it. You're going to look at the food and say, ooh, this is great. I think I want to go here. But then you're going to say, I don't know, maybe I don't want to go there. Maybe I want to, let's see what else, just because you're curious, right? You can't go to the first place you see. Next place maybe has 10. Next place, maybe they only have 2 pictures. Well, which one are you going to pick? You're going to go to the one that has the most pictures that look absolutely delicious. It's the same thing for your business. As a business coach, someone can very easily say, business coach near me. They're going to look at, am I posting? Am I there? Do I have reviews? And when you think about your content, it's the same thing you're posting on social media. So just switch it up. It's really easy to do. You can just do it right from your phone. So I want to point that out because it's really important. And one last tip about Google My Business, you need a website. So sometimes people start off in the early stages and they maybe just have a Facebook business page. But in order to take advantage of the Google My Business, and it is free, you do need to have a website. So here is a little blueprint, and this is just a little blueprint of exactly what it would look like. And I'm happy to share the PDF for this with anyone who is interested, again, as an opt-in, right? Because I want to grow my email list. So this is just a great little cheat sheet here, and you want to track it. And what this does is this helps you write it down, get it out of your head, get it on paper, and then plan for it. Because, you don't necessarily want to have, you want to do something like, for me, it might be 25 ways to keep your business afloat this summer, right? Something like that. Well, I'm not going to do that in December, right? December, I'm going to be thinking about what's coming up for the new year, goal setting. Those are the kind of things I'm going to be promoting. So you want to make sure it's relevant to the time of year. So when you're planning out your social media, you want to think about that. So let's talk a little bit about hashtags. I love hashtags. Hashtags is a great way to grow your business. I will offer you a couple of quick little tips on hashtags. So if you Google self-care, you may get 3 million, and a quick way to do that is on the Instagram app, there's a little circle. You hit the circle button, search, and you put hashtag and whatever word you want to look up. So let's just say you want to say self-care. You type in self-care, 3 million people are using it. Well, you don't want to use that hashtag because it's going to drop the algorithm down. So you want to use something that has between 25,000 and 750,000 uses on it. That's how many people have been using that hashtag. You can also follow a hashtag, and it's very simple. So instead of just typing the word self-care, you can add self-care Sunday, self-care state of mind. It's very simple to do. What I recommend people do is they group them together and perhaps keep them on your notes, on your laptop or on your computer in groups. And so then when you're creating your social media post, you can just copy and paste and, put it right in there. So as a rule of thumb, well, here's something a lot of people don't know. Hashtags do not work on Facebook. So I see people posting all the time on Facebook with hashtags. It's really doing nothing. Facebook was not designed for hashtags. YouTube has just added that feature, which is fantastic, to use hashtags. LinkedIn allows you to use 3 hashtags, and Instagram allows you to use 25 to 30 hashtags. You can embed it in your story, or you can lump them all together and just put them in the comment section. So you want to make sure that they're relevant and they do change. So that's really important. to work on building that list of hashtags. So now we're going to get to the networking piece of it. And networking is equally as important as it is to just developing new people and new customers. You're building those relationships. So when you think about your 30-second commercial, the first thing that pops to mind for me is a BNI. Not only is it, I call it stupid o'clock, 7 a.m., but just not for me. It is for some people, but it's the same thing week after week after week. So you want to get creative and you want to try to switch it up. And you want to switch it up to the point that it's not robotic. You're switching it up by the room. Who's in the room? You're networking before you have your turn to do your commercial, so you have an idea of who's in the room. And then you can always just tweak it just a little bit to maybe solve their pain points, if, of course, you feel like it's a fit. So practice doing your 30-second elevator pitch. Once you feel like you have it and you're comfortable with it, go ahead and record it, throw it up on your Facebook page, turn it into a YouTube, and you can put it on your YouTube channel. You can throw it on all of your social media. It's really just introducing yourself, who you are, what you do. You can even do that on your landing page on your website, which of course is fantastic. So I'm going to go down the list. Join a BNI. If you feel that that's a good fit for you, I definitely would sample a couple of different chapters because they do vary. And it is a commitment every single week at 7 a.m. typically, or 7:15, and you're only allowed to miss like 2 or 3 a year. And if you can't make it, you have to find a sub. So I love eWoman. I'm not only do I sit on the board or in the leadership team, but I speak for eWoman. I network with them. A lot of them are my best friends, my customers. It's one of my biggest sources of revenue for my business, referrals, speaking, and eWoman. So, and I just kind of keep it to those 3 things because they work. So that's really what I do. And I'm not in 20 different networking events. That's actually the only networking event that I attend. So if you are looking for a new networking event, there's a couple of things you can do. Well, one, you could just post on your social media, say what you're looking for, and you'd be surprised. Post it on your personal page. And then people that know you will comment on that. You can search Eventbrite. I would also say offer to speak. If you don't have your own topic that you speak on, think about those 3 problems that we talked about earlier. What are those pain points? You can create an entire presentation just addressing those pain points, just giving them a little sprinkle of sharing your expertise. So I do suggest everyone create a signature talk. One other tip I give when you do your presentations, create them in 10-minute chunks, because that way, if you're getting this in the back of the room, like hurry it up, or this, stretch it, it's a lot easier if they're in little 10-minute chunks and you can just add or subtract. And something else, another little tip is tell a story. So if you are telling stories in your presentation, you don't have to worry about cue cards. You don't have to worry about missing anything. And if they tell you to stretch it out, that means you add more details to the story. If they tell you to speed it up, you can chop some out because you're telling a true story. And that's what people want to hear. They want to hear real life stories. As a coach, I can use an example of some success stories from some of my coaching clients. Be a guest speaker at a podcast, do your one-on-ones or your virtual coffee chats. I recommend you try and strive to have 1 or 2 a week. Anything more than that, and you're just burning yourself out. You're not able to maintain it. You also want to keep track, follow up, connect with them on social media platforms, and continue that relationship. If you're just going to have 1 or 2 virtual coffee chats a week and you're not going to do anything with it, then why bother? You want to continue, put them in your CRM system, that sort of thing. Facebook groups. So I think Facebook groups and LinkedIn groups are amazing. If you cannot find a Facebook group that you feel like you're a good fit in, you can start your own and really niche it down. create your own rules, who you want to connect with. One thing with Facebook groups, the larger the group, so let's just say if you join a Facebook group and there's, thousands and thousands of people in it, they're going to allow you to post whenever. Well, the chances are your post is probably going to get lost. If you pick a smaller group, they're not going to allow you to post at all. So if you pick a medium-sized group, they typically have one day a week that's a free share. Maybe they'll do one where you can share your social media platforms and grow some new followers or share an offer. You want to keep track of that. So if you are going to join a Facebook group, and I recommend people, you want to be active in maybe 3 or 4 groups. Anything else, it's impossible. If you're a member of 30 groups, big deal. What are you doing with it? You want to, just like everything else, you want to engage, you want to get to know those people that you're networking with. So that's, to me, is very important. And your sales funnel. So we're going to talk about this briefly because this is a short video. So your lead magnet, again, is your opt-in or a webinar or speaking engagements. And those things will lead them into what we call a discovery call. And a discovery call is a 30-minute, usually a virtual conversation. And, you want to keep it to 30 minutes. Anything over than that, you're probably giving too much away. So 30 minutes is just a taste for them to understand what you're offering, what you're selling, and really feel like if there's a connection. A good rule of thumb is listen 80% and talk 20%. Let them tell you what their problem is. And then when you speak, you're telling them about your product or service and how you can help them. And so from the discovery call, you want to make a recommendation. And that's typically going to be either your low end offer, your middle, or your high end, based on what their problem is and what their pain point is. So I want to jump back to Google. Jump on over to. So one of the things with Google that I love so much is you can connect it with your SEO. And again, the SEO works, the search engine optimization works with your website. So you really want to use that feature. I feel like it's, the least expensive way to get yourself out there. And I can tell you the direction Google is going in, and it's video. So if you have videos, you're able to post those videos. So if you are Googling something and you see a video, oh, let me see if I want to go to this restaurant, or let me see if this coach is for me, or what are they saying? So I think that, and here's the link. Again, I'm happy to share this presentation with you. And that's the link where what happens is you just register your business and they'll send you a postcard. Once you get the postcard, then you put in the little code, and then you can upload a short bio and, a picture, your logo, all that other stuff. So I'm just going to run over while we wrap up the 5 key takeaways. So number 1, identify the pain points that your ideal clients are having or experiencing, and you want to come up with those top 3 and use them in a creative way. Be sure your offers and packages solve that problem. Talk about those problems all the time. You want to talk about those pain points in your social media. Build your community with active engagement on social media, establishing yourself as an expert. How are you doing that? By solving their problems, by giving them content, by offering these opt-ins. So you want to get connected, attend and speak at networking events, both virtually and in person if possible. I know we have been doing a lot virtually, but I'm excited to be back meeting with people face to face. And the last thing about when you're doing this networking event, strive for 2 or 3 meaningful conversations. It's not about how many business cards can I collect. It's you want to connect with 2 or 3 people. How many meaningful conversations can I have? And the last tip is offer a call to action. When you get on that discovery call, what's their next step? Make them an offer. When you're offering an opt-in, at the bottom of it, you want to say, let's hop on a complimentary discovery call. We always want the next. What are we building into it? Remember, think about that visual funnel that I showed you. And lastly, thank you so much. So again, I am Gina Johnson, holistic business coach, and I hope this was helpful. ChinaJohnson.co. If you would like to schedule a complimentary 30-minute discovery call, if I resonate with you and my content resonates with you, I would love to hop on a call with you. Have a great day.